Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Mark and this is Mark's Opinion Projects. Welcome back. This is video number 30 and it is the introduction to our graphics series. So today's tutorial we will be building a window. We'll be demonstrating one of the ways to build a window. Today's video will be the Java libraries methodology, I guess. So we're going to be using the standard Java library as opposed to an API. In the next tutorial is when we will crack out something a bit more fancy and we'll try some custom gaming libraries rather than just using the standard stuff. So you've got all that to look forward to. But for now, I'm going to start you guys off nice and simple with the standard library. So, like I said, I want to make a window. And a window in Java is known as a JFrame. There's a few different types of window. This is just the easiest one to use. So there's JFrame, there's also stuff like, I'm pretty sure there's JPanel. I want to say it's JPanel. Can I extend? Yeah. These both have slightly different functionality. I remember that panel was better with buttons. I found that I remember I tried to build a calculator and the button placement didn't work for JFrame. It did work for the panel. So I think a panel, maybe it gives you a bit more control. Obviously it's harder to code. It's harder to code, but it gives you a bit more flexibility. Again, like, you know, I'm no expert on like the Java libraries or whatever. You need to do some research, but you know, this is a good place to start if you want to make a window. It's nice and simple, get you off the ground. So JFrame has 4 constructors, all of which I'm gonna come up with a nice name for. So the first one is the, no, not that, there we go. So the first one, we'll call it the default. So say, yeah, it's just the default constructor, no parameters taken, just bang, we have a window. The next one, do you know what? This would be so much quicker. I've re-recorded this like 3 times. I never once thought just copy and paste. There we go. So like I said, there's 4. So 1, 2, 3. Nice. Makes my life way easier. So there's 4, meaning we have 4 different sets of parameters. So the first one's empty, the second one takes, well, you can see this little, I can't highlight it, but that little bit of text there, title. So this is the title, well, I guess you could call it the title window. So you, what you do is you pass the title of your window to the constructor and it creates a window with that specific title, which is pretty nice. So the next one is a graphics config window. And this takes a graphics configuration object, which I've never actually used before. So that should be interesting. I'll create that now actually. The tutorial I found online recommends that the graphics configuration needs to be static. So all the way down here, you'll notice again this is from oh, why's that gone weird? Oh, it hasn't. This is from a different library. So the JFrame is from javax.swing and graphics configuration is from java.awt. So these are like the most predominantly used libraries for graphics. So if you go on many tutorials, like the basic beginner tutorials, everything like creating a window in Java, these are the libraries that everyone uses. Why? Oh, because it's a static method, maybe? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, can I just pass it GC? I actually don't know what I'm doing. I'm totally going off piece there. I have no idea what I'm doing. No, okay, I pressed the P, I meant to press a G. It's not even close to it. There we go. Please don't take, oh no. Oh no. Oh god, what have I done? So this is a graphics configuration object. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, interesting. I'm going to go back to that. I'm just going to ignore that for now. So we're just going to carry on and pretend like that doesn't exist because I don't know what it is. For this last one, by the way, is, we'll call it both. This takes a title and it takes our graphics configuration object. So that is, they are all four of the constructors. I really regret showing you this now because the graphics configuration object makes no sense to me. But I can kind of talk you through what I think it probably does. Anyway, so for me at least, I've come across these two before. This one's the most typical just because the title makes it look a bit more fancy. But you know, either of these are fine. So apparently you can't just create a constructor and run it. Tried that one, didn't work out. So you need to set the visibility to true, and you also need to set the default close operation to exit on close. So visibility is fairly straightforward. When this constructor is called, it is initially invisible by default. Don't know why that's the way it is, but that's how it's configured. So you need to change the visibility. And the default close operation is a little bit trickier. So this exit on close is an integer in the JFrame class. And because we extend JFrame, we're allowed to use this exit on close because, like I said, the attributes for JFrame transfer to test multiple connections. What it's saying is the default close operation is given a specific integer value, which, you know, based on the name, means that the program will exit once the JFrame is closed. That's what that means, exit on close. So program, JFrame dies, program ends. If you don't do this, then when you click off the window, the program continues to run, and you'll have to switch it off with the kill button in your in your IDE, whatever it is you're using. If you're using IntelliJ, Eclipse, that kind of thing, you need to force shut down your software if you don't add this in. The other thing you'll notice is that I haven't changed the name of this. So title window would remain open, and oh dear, and default would shut properly. Twice actually, I double shut it. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a nightmare on my keyboard today. Okay, so I'll run this. I'll show you guys what this is, and then we'll talk a little bit about this graphics configuration while I try and come up with a theory as to what it all is. So boom. So you'll notice we've got nothing. If you run this, you will see that something was generated. I'll drag these into view for you. So these are the windows that we've created. You'll notice one's got a title, one does not have a title. Well, I didn't know this was going to happen, but when I click one, both of them are killed. I'm assuming. I'm not sure why that happened. I'm assuming it's because I clicked on title window. So if title window was killed, default window is also killed. Maybe, I'm not sure. Interesting. Well, I guess if once title window closes, the entire program closes. That kind of makes sense. To be fair, typically you wouldn't have a program that will create two windows, so I guess it's never really a problem. But, you know, it's something to watch out for. So, you know, our window is pretty boring, but nevertheless we do have something. So the next steps are going to be doing stuff like setting the background and displaying images. And this is where this graphics configuration might come in. I'm going to talk to you guys a little about that now. So, all of these, you'll notice first off, are getters. So they're all an attribute. They all relate to an attribute in this graphics configuration class. So the graphics configuration object has a graphics device. It has a color model. It has a that has a rectangle, all this kind of thing. So, I mean, we could give it a go and just, to be fair, I don't know what any of these objects are, so it's kind of tricky. Like, you know, what constitutes as a rectangle, what constitutes, because we can't just put in integers, we have to create an object of this type. Let's just take our graphics device as an example, and let's just have a little play and see if we can come up with something. So if I create, oh dear, there we go. If I create a graphics device, and I'll call it GD, or I could call it graphics device, equals new graphics device. Oh no, and it's got its own set of parameters. Oh god. Do you want a semicolon? I'm guessing you want a semicolon. Yeah, cool. Okay, so very interesting. So presumably all of these have their own sets of parameters. And then once you've configured all of the parameters, you then add all of these in order to configure your graphics configuration. Which makes sense. Interestingly, they seem to overlap. So you'll notice the graphics device takes a graphics configuration array and a graphics configuration object, or at least it returns one. So yeah, my understanding is that these getters and setters will be used within this class. So when we edit them, so you notice there's this override, which is what this means is that we change what it is that the method is returning. So you don't want to change the name or the return type or something that'll break it. You want to update the method body. So simply put, you just want to update the return data. What we could do, let's change that to 4. And if we pass our graphics device, there we go. You seem okay with that. Cool. So that, yeah, this would be interesting. So if I undash this, oh, I'm going to get rid of these two as well because I think it's going to pop up the screen. That'll be annoying. So I'm going to ignore these for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to create our graphics configuration window and we'll see what happens. Cool. Okay, so what happens when I create this? I'm actually really curious because I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, it broke. Why did it break? We got an error. Not a screen. Oh, interesting. Okay. See, I'm way out of my depth. I don't know what's going on here. These are internal errors, which are occurring in the like in the back end. So all this is erroring for some reason rather than my guess would be is that graphics device and the types of graphics device, that will be something like, is it a phone screen maybe, or is it like a wind, like, no, that's probably too simplistic. It's probably something more specific, like what object is being used to create the graphics device. Like, is it a JFrame, or is it like a JPanel, or I'm not sure. I honestly, to be fair, I honestly don't know. I'm actually really curious to find out what some of this stuff does. But as you can see, you know, if I go down here, I create a color model. You'll notice color is spelled wrong, by the way. I'm just pointing that out now. Do not approve. Color model. There we go. Yeah, again, look at all this. I mean, jeez. Do you know what? I think. What was the default? Is it null? I think it was null. So I'll put that as null. So I'm going to get rid of the graphics device because I don't know what my graphics device is. And instead, I'm going to mess on with the colors. I think the colors I've probably got a bit more of an idea. What do you want? Can you take a string? No. Okay, so the parameter is looking for an integer, I'm guessing. Should we say 16? Let's say 16. I'm assuming what this means is like the color depth. So you know, like if you have like a 16-bit color or something, it's like the range of colors that you can have, if that makes sense. So yeah, no, I'm curious to see what happens. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to change all of these to 10. And I'm just curious to see what happens. So this is just editing like the color scheme or something. We called it color model. Just gonna pop it in and see what happens. It'll probably break, but it's worth a try. I really don't want it to break. I'm actually kind of curious. Oh, it broke. Sick. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it just isn't being configured correctly. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't happy with this. I'm not sure. Oh, it's just hit me. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. So the color model variable that we introduced probably doesn't actually exist in this class. So it has a bunch of gets, but we're not necessarily editing the right attribute. Sure, I'm going to do a little bit of Googling and get back to you. I want to create something. We're going to target specifically color model, and then I'll come back and we'll see if there's anything else that's worth doing. Okay, so I'm going to level with you guys. It is currently 10:30 at night, and I can't be bothered to sift through the documentation. There's this huge list of methods and stuff which relate to graphics configuration and color model and device, all this kind of business. I think I probably was using it incorrectly. So I don't think you can just configure the parameters as you see fit. I'm assuming, as in the return times. I'm not sure. Maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. The point is, though, is that the code that I have highlighted, so if we ignore all of this. Anyway, so the general gist of it is after all this faffing about, we have these 3 lines, which, if I run the code, should create, a blank window. You notice the sizing's wrong, there's nothing on it, we can't do anything with it, but it creates a window. So this is the very, very, very first step that we're going to take. Again, I'll be introducing you guys to an API because more than anything, I'm curious. I quite like to see how someone like something like lightweight Java gaming library does it. So I'll have a little look for that. I'll probably stick to the default libraries. I quite like the fact that we're not using any external APIs at the minute. I think I would quite like to keep it that way. But obviously, if things get really, really technically challenging, it might be better just to use the standard. But we'll have to see. Anyways, so this is literally all I've got for you. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you, if you haven't already, please do check out the code. It's available on GitHub. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you have any questions, comment down below. Smash the like and the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.